Alright, so part 2 of Cobra Kai's final season has released on Netflix, and in this continuation of the final season, we're at the Sekai Taikai with Miyagi-Do versus Cobra Kai and all of the other dojos competing. And even for what I thought of it, and like even though for what I'm about to say, this will be a spoiler-free review. I'm just gonna go over my impressions and my thoughts, and even for how dark this season got, and I think I'll talk about my flaws that I had, but even though in the end I'm going to be talking about how this sets up the final episodes for how this show will come to an end for Cobra Kai as we know it. And that's what I'm going to get into right now. And so if you're new, then be sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell so it's on any future videos. But now let's talk about it. And now, I gotta say, going into the second part of Cobra Kai's final season, and I think I enjoyed the heck out of this one. And in fact, this is some of the best action that I've ever seen put to streaming format. But even though I liked part 1 that set up Miyagi-Do, our senseis, Daniel and Johnny, and the students, like, we're at the Sekai Taikai, and they're going up against the best and toughest dojos in the world, and it's in Barcelona, and like, with this final season, like, they were not afraid to go deep further, like, they were not afraid to hold back, because even with the fight choreography and the stunts that they're pulled off in this tournament, and some of the best stuff that I've ever seen, especially Miyagi-Do is up against, especially with being against the other students. But wow, I just think that it's some of the best stuff that I've ever seen, especially with our main characters. They have so much drama to deal with, especially being in Barcelona for how they're going to win this tournament. But I definitely think rivalries are definitely up for the challenge, and I think I have flaws about it. Sometimes it loses steam a bit, but even though I liked how it started, like, especially for how it ended, which I'll get to in a bit, but I think, like, it definitely loses steam a bit, but it definitely picks up its pace, because I think because I thought we were gonna go into stuff that, like, set up what was going to be set up at the end of part 1, involving Mr. Miyagi or like something with the tournament. But that's what I generally thought, like, going into the second part, is that we were going to get more reveals and more stuff. But don't worry, I think, like, in like the second half, that's where things really started to get real, because I think, like, I'm pretty sure that there's some big moments and certain reveals that happen that like that definitely kept me on the edge of my seat, because they go darker with this second part. I mean, especially with the final season alone, because I think with the fights that go on here, like, this is unlike anything that we've seen in the previous seasons. Because I think back to, like, one of the earlier seasons, like, that all happens, like, in like a dojo, but no, we're at an actual tournament with, like, other dojos, like, going hard against our students, because I think, like, they're, like, violent. They go hard, and that's the same thing as I really enjoyed, because even though, like, with the rivalries, like, between senseis and the students, and they're always sort of drama, it's some of the best episodes that I've ever watched. There are some parts that, like, really, like, maybe shocked, like, oh, this really happened. Or like, oh, I can't believe that just happened. That's exactly how I felt towards the end of part 2, at which that's the stuff that I really enjoyed about it, because, like, even with like, character moments, and even though that we're going to places throughout Barcelona, I enjoyed it quite a bit with everything that's going on with the final season. But I think it definitely loses steam a little bit, but it definitely had me hooked, like, especially towards, like, the end, or in like the middle half. But even with the fight and choreography, it is literally insane. It is, like, the next level, because with like other dojos that they are competing and fighting against our other students, like, it is so brutal. Like, also, like, the thing is that I loved with the second part is that, especially with the fight scenes that go down, plus from what we've seen in trailer footage and from, like, personal photos, is that they are really badass. Like, they don't, like, hold back on anything. They just go right to it, like especially with Daniel and Johnny. Those two like had their moments, and along with the other stuff that goes down. And I mean, I don't want to go into spoilers, but there's like a certain character return that will definitely have you think that wow, like this season is about to get wild for how they're gonna end this show. But even for what's even more crazier is that with that cliffhanger at the end of part 2, I don't want to say anything, but I'm pretty sure I'll get some more in like other pieces of content or in other videos. But I think like towards the end, it like had me question like for how this is all going to get resolved, especially at the end of part 2. I'm like, what happens now? Because that's exactly how I felt. But even within like the final minutes in part 2, it's some of the best stuff that I've ever seen. It's absolutely incredible. Like just for how everything goes. But again, like this is the Sekai Taikai, and not only that, but this also delivers emotions. And there's a ton of pressure that everyone is going through, including for the dojos, our students, especially for the senseis. And like the stakes are raised higher than ever before, because like I just like how everything was up in that scale. Like that's stuff that I really admire about Cobra Kai. Like in this like a big final moment, like they go deep and hard with everyone's backstory, especially with the character arcs. And also, from what I really liked out of all this is that the final season really dives deep into conflicts, drama, and all the struggles that our main characters have, specifically with the students, like close friends, and even with our senseis, for how they're gonna win this tournament, because they've been preparing like all their lives, especially with the dojos, with Miyagi-Do and Cobra Kai, and now it has all led to this. And I just really liked how this last season is really going down for how everything is going to be resolved. And for how part 3 is gonna go down, especially with our with the final 5 episodes. I just really hope that it ends well, and that's the stuff that I really like. Like especially with like new characters introduced, and what their purpose has served in this final season. It really like it takes this season in like an unexpected turn. But I think it like definitely helps in the tournament to know what our characters are fighting for, because like this is like the biggest tournament in Barcelona. And one last thing that I will say is I really enjoyed the second part of this final season, and they go really hard with the action, the fight choreography. It's just some of the stunts that they pull up is unbelievable, and I just really liked how our main characters, like the students, were handled with their storylines, with the senseis like a deep dive into the past and for what stuff that was going to be revealed. But I absolutely have no words about that cliffhanger, and I just hope that we get answers, especially what happened at the end of part 2. I mean, gosh, I need part 3 right now, and it sucks that we have to wait a little bit, but I just hope that the rest of the show sticks the landing, and I think that they're going to end the show with a bang as well. But that's going to do it for this video. Just let me know in the comments below, and what your thoughts on part 2 of Cobra Kai's final season, and what are your predictions for how the show is going to end, and what do you think certain reveals might happen. Just let me know all your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to notification bell for future videos. Also follow all my social medias over linked down below. And with that, I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.